not as good in my TV package, I guess. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Open up questions for student athletes wherever you guys are ready.
I guess Quincy, I know you've been dealing with a wrist injury earlier in the year. What was the process of getting over that, and what's been the process of kind of regaining your jump shot too the last couple of games?
I mean, it feels a little bit better. It's not 100%. It might not be 100% for the rest of the year. But I just gotta stop thinking about it and just be tough enough and make sure that I'm using my guide hand to make some shots, and that's pretty much it.
As Coleman, offensively, the second half had some slow moments for you guys, but what kind of led to that? And then maybe how did you guys maybe turn that around at the end to finish it off?
I think we just got a little too stagnant. They're throwing the matchup zone, regular zone, 3-2 man. They're just throwing different defenses at us. And we were trying to run some of our man sets against it. Sometimes we ran into the ball screen. They just switch it. And all of a sudden they be in man. So I think it was just we needed to start recognizing what they're in. And I think we did that late. Kind of got into our zone sets. Kind of had me in the high post and just moving the ball. And then, using Marcus and our bigger guards in the post-ups and then spacing on the backside. I think we did a good job of that late.
Coleman, what was your assessment of just playing this Colgate team, a team that's made it to the tournament the last 4 years?
Yeah, we knew they were going to be good. We knew they had size. They played two bigs. We knew they had a good point guard, some shooters off the bench, but we never took them lightly at all. We knew they're an NCAA tournament team, and like Coach said, we right now we're projected to be like a 3 seed, I think, and they're like 13, 14, somewhere around there. So these are the type of games you get in the tournament. So preparing for that, it's a noon tip. You might get one of those in the tournament. So just preparing for the future in March. Not necessarily looking ahead, but just having a good feel for what these games are going to be like.
You're both able to step out and hit threes like you were tonight. What's that do from a spacing perspective, offensively?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be tough for people to guard. They're playing two bigs. They had to switch some things around. They start switching, and you can kind of tell when a team works on switching or not. I could tell they're not used to switching, but those are some of the things you have to, because if you play in a drop, I can space hit a three, Quincy could hit a three. We could play small ball. So yeah, it's good when we're all hitting shots. It creates shot opportunities for all of our players. So it's good when we step up and knock down shots.
Quincy, when you got 4 guys kind of scoring all equal like that, is that what this team can do a lot, or was
we got multiple guys that can score double digits every game, and it's obviously it's going to be good for us when it happened. But like we said, I think we really got to focus on our defense for our offense to get going.
We've always heard that finals week is a long week, and then coming off the 3 games you had the previous week, like what the focus you guys had to come out like you did, what's that tell you guys about maybe how dialed in you are collectively?
I mean, we just got to pay attention to details. The scouting report is really important. And like I said, our defense, when we locked in on defense and not making a lot of mistakes, we are a pretty good team, one of the best in the country, and we just got to keep doing that.
Quincy, to dovetail off that point, there was a point in the second half where you guys were 1 of 11. You still had an 18-point lead, and you'd actually had outscored Colgate. Like, from a defensive standpoint, how do you kind of not let your offense dictate how you defend?
I mean, it's just a focus. I think it's just a mentality at the end of the day, and we just got to keep communicate, make sure that we're not making mistakes, and if we do, just got to correct them and not let a run affect us. It's a game of runs, so it's gonna happen.
Coleman, we saw you and Dane play a little bit for the first time this season. What do you think of that? What can that add for you guys? And what have you kind of seen from Dane as you're playing big minutes, obviously making a big impact? But what have you seen from him?
Yeah, I love playing with Dane. I think he's unstoppable when he gets deep in his post ups. You know, he does one power dribble, goes right up. I think he's unstoppable when he does that. And you know, I'm not a 5, but you know, I'm doing it right now for the team. So whenever I get an opportunity to, you know, play that forward position, it always feels good. But I think I like playing with Dane. I want to get on the court more with him. Be at the 4. I feel like I'm a good post entry guy. And I feel like sometimes we miss him a lot. And, you know, I'll be in the game, I'm like, dang, I wish I was in there. I'd be able to hit him. So, no, that's definitely something I want to see going forward is me and him playing together.
You guys both talked about the rebounding in Tennessee and kind of wanting to get more of it. What was the week like for you guys to come out and respond the way that you did?
I mean, I think we worked the whole week on rebounding, and we just we carried that today. I don't know how much we out rebound them, by like 18. Yeah, so I think we did a pretty good job, and we just got to keep doing that.
For either of you guys, you have the ability to post multiple guys. We've seen Marcus do that a lot. Obviously, Coleman, you've even done it some. How does that factor into your offense? How much of a value is it that you can do that a number of different guys?
Yeah, I mean, we got bigger guards, like I said. So just being able to exploit matchups. If they want to keep a big down there, we'll just have shooters on that backside. You know, if someone's not comfortable shooting the ball, you know, maybe it's a guy like Ty, he can get right to a step up. And if his man's helping in the paint, who's going to support him in like a DHO ball screen, set screen. So, yeah, it's definitely something we look at, especially last year. You got a guy like Jalen Pickett who did that to us the whole game, who was able to find shooters, space, and there's kind of nothing you can really do about it but live with the result of a tough 2. So.
I guess for either one of you, just Terrence blocked 5 shots. I mean, is that a big number? Or do you see him do that in practice?
I think he's definitely capable. He's a freak athlete. He gets up there, get his head on the rim. So, no, that's definitely something he takes pride in is his defense. He hustles all the time. So, it's not shocking to me at all. Him getting up there, getting some blocks. So. Good. Thank you.
Their coach, they're doing a great job. They got great players again, and it'll be a battle in St. What's Chiefs score? Not good for Chiefs?
I mean, like compared to 27-10.
Okay. No, it's the NFL. They're all hard. It's on the road. Good gracious. Terrific start today. Impacted so much of the way that game went. We talked about their team you don't want to play from behind against because of their size, their pace of play, their post-ups, and their ability. How good was Terrence Shannon? Yikes. 5 blocks. I have tremendous respect for Braden Smith. When you watch him, I watched every game this team's played this year. Braden Smith is a terrific basketball player. The job, I don't think he scored on Terrence. And the job he did on him was elite. Braden's a kid who could play anywhere. And not only 5 blocks, but the start he got off to offensively was great. I thought that rebounding, we doubled them at half. Now we gave them 5 offensive rebounds, but I thought 2 or 3, I think, were off our blocks. We just weren't very alert to the ball, and that was the case all night. But Ty Rodgers parlayed his best week of practice into his best game. Just more confident, running over to the bench, getting play calls, communicating. I get mad at Ty every time somebody scores on him because or he makes a mistake, because usually that doesn't happen. He's really good at that. So you put that backcourt together defensively, and I like where we're at with that group. Rebounding was obviously a huge key. We spent a lot of time talking about 43-25 against a team that's much bigger than us, and it was nice to see our kind of our wings when our guards rebound, we're really good because we can get out and run. And but it was all in all kind of after finals, the game that I never looked forward to very much. We put a really good Colgate team. That's a team that's going to win a lot of games. I put that game in here for a reason, and we can really start to grow as we're all basketball now, and we can put the academics to bed for the semester. So good win.
Second half, they kind of matchup zoned you a little bit, got stagnant. What did you see there, and what do you think you need to do against that?
It's what they do. It's just what they do. And again, it more was compounded by the fact that we weren't getting necessarily stops. There was a lot of dead balls. There weren't any rhythm. It's kind of a matchup zone that goes man after a few passes. But early in the game, everything we did was Coleman getting to the rim. He slipped. We hit him for easy passes. And when our team gets in trouble, it's when we quit running to the rim, and we quit putting pressure on the rim through cuts and through rolls. And when Coleman pops too much, we're dead because there's no driving angles in. And it has to be Coleman slipping, Coleman getting to the rim, putting pressure on that, forcing defenders to tag, and that opens everything else up. And we got really stagnant. We popped too much. Then we started playing to just single side post ups when we had Dane in the game, and that's something that doesn't work very well either. So give them credit, but we've seen a lot of it, so we've been pretty good. Today was just kind of we got a little flat with it.
Brad, you said after Tennessee you wanted to maybe see Dane and Coleman together. You got a little bit of that. What can that give you, that look? And how has Dane just handled Coleman playing so many minutes? Because he obviously makes a huge impact.
Well, they played so much together last year, and our offensive numbers were abysmal. I mean, they were atrocious. And it's one of the things that, both of them were extremely high turnovers last year, and I don't want to dwell on last year's team because what we're doing offensively is so much different. But it's kind of a yin and a yang, so to speak. We got to find the matchups. We got to find the opponent has a lot to do with it. We knew today with their size that we could play both those guys together. I think what we're doing offensively suits Coleman much better at the 4 than what we did last year. And last year everybody would switch 1 through 4, and that negates Coleman's ability to drive. It didn't create his matchups to be able to shoot it. We were able to create some of those things with him at the 5 this year. But I like it. I like what we're doing. I thought into the game today and it stretches, we did some good things with both of them. In.
Coleman kind of talked about how Colgate was made a type of opponent that this team might see in an NCAA tournament. A noon tip could be something like that. Just what kind of value was this game, and maybe in getting a win when it wasn't all great, kind of be for down the road?
I think if you look at what we tried to do with our schedule this year, I think Oakland's really good. I think Valpo's a team that's a Missouri Valley level team. We had a couple bottom feeders, so to speak, and I don't mean that to talk bad about anybody's program, but teams in the 250 or below. But Colgate's won their league. You look how many games they've won the last 4 years. If I'm not mistaken, it's a lot more than us. They know how to win. Greg Campy has sustained success at Oakland at a very high level. I think both of them are picked to win their league. So you start playing those games, and those are games that help you in the net. Those are games that help prepare you for a 3-14, a 4-13 game. And you look, and that's where Colgate's projected. You see those teams in a first round game, and I've got so much respect for their program and their coach and what they've done. And so, as nervous as I was for the game, I was excited for the opportunity because I know this is a team that helps us and helps our schedule.
Yeah, Brad, you mentioned their size, and you've been really good from 2-point field goal attempts, and Terrence Shannon didn't score in the second half. Is that more their size that was doing that, or is that a little bit of? No,
I think it was more our influence. I thought we were trying to do some other things. I thought we went to Marcus, of course, late, doing some things. I thought we went to Ty. I thought we had some opportunities to try to mix in some offense there for Coleman on a couple of pick and pops. I thought that Quincy was really good, and we don't need Terrence to score 30. We need a lot of guys to be able to participate and do some things. And Terrence is going to get his, but it sure didn't affect his defense or anything else he did because he was pretty special tonight.
Coach, the ability to post multiple guys, at what point did you know with this roster that you could do that, and what value is it adding, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's I don't remember the exact point, but we said, hey, we can start doing this. We knew Marcus was a good post-up player in his previous stop. Ty does it all the time. Terrence is really good at it. Quincy's gotten really good at it. And we just kind of started practicing it and said, hey, there's a lot of way to get the ball to the mouth of the rim. And it's not just through a post entry to Dane. The reality is, you watch Jay Wright's team, and he won 2 national championships just posting his guards and spacing. And we're getting there. I like it. It's kind of right to the point. We spent a ton of time before Florida Atlantic and before Rutgers, before the road trip, working on it over the break. And it was great for us. It was great for us for 2.5 games. We got away from it in the second half. It'll be something that we can continue to go to. It was hard with Marcus in foul trouble and tonight, but love what it gives us.
A little nervous about this game. Just what is it about this team with the makeup that you come off that week of 3, away from home games and ahead of Mizzou, that you guys were able to have that focus and come out the way that you did?
Yeah, it's a tribute to our guys. I think it's just being old. we've had young teams and teams that aren't near as focused, and you guys have no idea how hard finals week is. Finals week is tough, and it's so many distractions and guys leaving practice and different times, and you're completely out of your routine. It's a coach's nightmare. You can look around college basketball and see a lot of close games and a lot of upsets that happen over finals week. And but you just maturity. We talked about it. We we told them this is an NCAA tournament team, and it has been. And that's the maturity of our group. Was they stayed focused, and the start was huge today.
Brett, I know you watch a lot of NBA or other college, like Penn State last year. What was the inspiration between the matchup? Like, did you pick that up from somebody else that you liked watching it, or?
Well, I've always admired Jay Wright because it was different. And, then let's see, we were 0 for the year against Penn State, and we didn't have very much luck guarding Pickett. Of course, now they have 3 pros on that team, but it just suits us. I think you can't be afraid to change. You can't be afraid to tweak a little bit. And I've always been a guy that we love shooting threes, yes, but still the old school philosophy, the closer you are to the rim, the better chance it has to go in. And you're doing that with guys who are elite free throw shooters. You're doing that with guys who make good decisions 90% of the time, most every time, and you're not going to turn it over. And the rules of the game are such that it's really hard to guard. And I didn't do a very good job of working the officials in the Tennessee game because they armbarred the hell out of us at the 3-point line. And that's a foul. You can't do that. And, there's a little line down there on the baseline where you can't armbar till you get inside that. And, I've got to do a better job of lobbying for fouls and making sure that we get those fouls called.
Last year, looking forward a little bit, Mizzou was one of the lower points of the season last year. Where are you at after finals week heading into Mizzou this year compared to where your mindset was last year?
Well, different calendar, first of all. So we'll actually have some time to actually have a good solid week of practice, I hope. They were good. They got guys playing in the NBA. They were good. And we'll see. We don't know what this week looks like. I mean, we got to have a good week of practice. We got to have a good week of preparation. They're very different. They played differently. They played the way I played it when I was at SFA. They're up the line, on the line. You're not going to run anything against them. They're going to deny everything. They've got a guard, the East kid, who played a little bit last year, who's turned into a star for him this year. And, so you've got to be prepared for him. And, I thought mentally we were just drained last year. And then we were really, really young. And all of that, I think, was way too much for us last year. Now we'll see if we can have a little better approach this year.
Calm down the stretch of this game today. What kind of effect does that have on even you as a coach, but the rest of your team when he kind of stays in that mode?
Well, he got a lot of confidence. You saw how I put the ball in his hands, and we ran the little action to get him a 3. You have total confidence in that. And we're blessed here because we have 2 players in Terrence Shannon and Marcus Dumas. If you want to call them our 2 best players or 2 of, nobody. I'll challenge them in college basketball works harder than those 2. Nobody. And when your best players put in the time, you see Terrence have a day like he had today and a half, and you see Marcus, no matter what happens, hit the big 3, finish the game off. Those guys, the work turns to success. And that's so refreshing as a coach to have your 2 best players or 2 of your best players be your just unreal. I mean, I literally need to kick them out of the gym. They work too hard sometimes.
Terrence can really get to the free throw line, but Quincy's been doing that recently, like attacking closeouts and going to the basket. How much is that adding to you guys?
Yeah, he's finally started making threes. So, if you remember the Tennessee game, they put their 5-man on him. They cross-matched. They put Adu on him. And, that got him going. And, we knew it was 6 to 8 weeks coming off that wrist. Boy, he's playing with so much confidence, and I love his game. I mean, he's just a grown man. I mean, he looks different than a lot of people out there. And the one thing he's our best athlete, and you get him downhill, attacking the rim, and I mean he can eat the rim. So it's all set up by that 3 ball, and he's shooting that thing at a really high level here in the last week or so.
So Colgate threw some weird looks at you guys today. Could you just talk about your assessment of the team heading into the Missouri game?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I think it's one of the reasons you play games like this. You see a team who's really big, and we'll see that at some point in Big Ten play. You'll see a team that'll play get out and pressure you, and you press you, and you see teams that just almost don't guard you and set the gaps, and so it's nice to be able to adjust. They'd played 3% of their possessions this year in that zone. And all of us, so you don't spend a ton of time prepping for it. And so it was nice that our guys, kind of on the fly, knew exactly what to jump into and get ready for that. So a mature team, a team that handled it a little flat at times, but again, did what we had to do against a really good college basketball team. Thank you.